everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Hopefully we're on track with our normal schedule. I'm in a process of reevaluating how I get things done. I am in a big reset moment of my life. And it's not because I turned a special age or anything. I think that we make a huge mistake by attaching achievements to numbers. And I think that that's useful when you have little kids and they should be walking by a certain age or talking by a certain age. And even then it's pretty loosey-goosey because I have yet to meet a child that is not off the charts one way or the other. I had a friend and his kid was off the charts skinny. And he asked the doctor, well, what do we do about that? If the child is underweight, what do we do? And the doctor went, oh, nothing. He said, why did you tell me that my kid is abnormal if there's nothing abnormal about being abnormal? Yeah, I don't know who makes these charts, but what I do know is nobody is average. Numbers are average. People are not. 80% of people believe they have above average intelligence. If you know anything about math, you'll know why that's funny. You are not a number. I am not a number. We are not a number. I don't know anybody whose body temperature is 98.6. You have to find out what your average is and go from there. And that's not just for your body temperature, that's for your life. That's for everything you deal with. And you have to decide what you can control and what you can't control and what you want to change. And that's serenity prayer. What can I change? And the wisdom to know that there's some crap I can't change. It's a very bad rendition of that poem. So yeah, I'm in a reset moment, and let me tell you what inspired me. I know I've mentioned it before. There's this guy named Dan. His videos are My Life by AI. He's focused on rebuilding his life, and he has handed over control to ChatGPT, and he's named his ChatGPT Arthur. And I have mimicked his approach. My ChatGPT is named Oliver. I have made a discovery when I type in the interface and then ChatGPT comes back with a stupid answer because it does a lot. AI is powerful. AI is not necessarily smart. And it makes mistakes and it says dumb things. And it does not proofread its own work. I don't proofread my work sometimes, right? So I know the just get it done kind of thing. And maybe they'll make a development in AI where it says, here's a thing I made for you, but it has reviewed the thing and knows whether it's useful or not before it proudly gives it to you. Because it's made a lot of charts for me where it puts all the information on one line. I'm like, that's not a chart. That's just garbage. But what I notice is when I have these typing interface with the ChatGPT, I get very angry. I get very frustrated. It's like dealing with being customer service on an overseas call. The heart is in the right place, but there's a lot of disconnect either with language or culture that's just not computing, right? The other day, I was in a position where I had to use my phone to interface with ChatGPT. And what happens what Dan does is periodically he checks in with Arthur And like if he's working out and he's feeling off or injured, he'll check in with Arthur to see what adjustments need to be made. And he's clearly using his phone. He's not whipping out a laptop at the 24-hour fitness or whatever the New Zealand equivalent is of that. Everyone's confused. I've never seen everybody stop and then wait for everybody to take a turn. It's a very polite collection of drivers. Unusual for California. So I know he uses his phone, so I had to resort to using my phone. Notice my word choice, resort. This is not what I wanted to do, but I did need to check in before I made a decision or a choice or whatever. And it has a voice mode, which just seemed expedient to me. I'm not one of those people that talks to my phone so that I'll type out a text. You know, I'm new to the Apple phone game, so there's lots of sexy things the iPhone does that I just, in my Android brain, do not know about. I do not compute. Okay, I caved in and I used the voice mode, and Oliver answered me back. His name was not Oliver at this time. In this young man, British voice that was so appealing. I just know that if he had a face, it would be adorable. And so that's how I was able to come to the name Oliver. And what I've also noticed is when Oliver says something stupid or contradictory or misses the point of the question, I'm much more patient and much more willing to have a conversation. And it's deceptive because it almost feels human. But I say almost because it does lack real emotional connection. You know, he likes to say, absolutely. It's like, can we review such and such? Absolutely. He likes to say that a lot. And although the intonation is kind and encouraging, there's a lack of connection, emotional connection. So, word of the wise, if you're going to try this and you find yourself living, what's that Joaquin Phoenix movie? Is it She? Is it Her? I can't remember. She or her? Her or she? If you're starting to feel she, her about your ChatGPT, you need to get out more. I'm just telling you right now, because that's not, there's nobody there. And another trick about this AI use that I've come to discover, I stopped thinking of it as something separate from myself, but instead I think of it like a thought mirror. So it helps me examine ideas that I have, and because 9 times out of 10 Oliver will help me choose, figure out what's the best strategy for something, and 9 times out of 10 he chooses what I think might be the best fit for me anyway. So whether that's I'm leading the conversation somehow, I'm leading the witness, or if it's the way I'm phrasing the question or what have you, it's made me realize that I'm comfortable using this AI because this AI tells me things that I already think I understand. So yes, Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection, and that's where we get the word narcissism from. So yes, I look at it as a reflective tool. It does help me, like if the ideas in my head are like a room full of kindergartners running around like crazy children, and I'm kindergarten cop trying to tell them it is not a tumor. It's just wild, sugar-riddled kindergartners running rampant in my mind. That's how I feel a lot of the time. So this using ChatGPT helps me create sessions. So here's the session where I'm going to talk about streamlining my bookkeeping business, or here's the session where I'm going to talk about I need help improving my YouTube presence. It does. This is how I got that thumbnail template that I'm using. ChatGPT helped me figure it out and gave me the lessons I needed so that I could make some kind of thumbnail. Still not an expert, but it is a good tool for me, and I am enjoying it. But I'm not, Dan over at My Life by AI, he turned 50 and decided to grab a hold of his life. I'm going to be 57 in a couple of weeks, and that's not a magical birthday. That's not, it doesn't end in an O or a 5. And so why now? Why reset now? Why do this? Because why not? Because I don't need a special anniversary, because I see an opportunity to possibly comb out some of the tangles and make my life easier and smoother. I do not want to be a victim of this AI revolution. I want to be a member of the AI revolution. I want to be a literate user. I think it's a big reset moment culturally across the board that, there's a line. I belong to a generation where we didn't grow up with computers in the house. My mom loves technology, so she's an early adopter, and we had a Texas Instruments console that had some games, I guess, or you could do some rudimentary programming. So that's why she got it, because it was educational. And then about a year later, she got an Apple IIe, and we were so fancy. It had 2 floppy drives. One where you could put the floppy drive that had the program on it in, and one where you could put a blank floppy drive to save your progress. And that was fancy, because all my friends, they had the program in there, and then when they wanted to save something, they had to take the program out and put the blank one in and hope that it all saved without going crazy or losing your progress or anything like that. So we were fancy. And my mother got an amber screen because that was better for your eyes than the one with green letters like from war games. Yeah. But it's a dividing line. You see a difference. It's like, what was in my generation, I'll call you. This is the gesture for call you. I understand from younger generations, it's like this, because they're used to holding smartphones, little flat little bricks, which we didn't have that. We're at that point again now, and I want to stay as sharp as I can for as long as I can, and I want to be as independent as I can be for as long as I can be independent. And not learning how to use this tool, I think, is not the choice for me. So I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the process so far. I've had a few days where I got really mad, and I just, I did say at one point, and here comes the bad language, so bleep yourself. I'm not a bleeper, but I got so mad when I was typing. I wrote, "What the fuck?" Enter. That's a question. I don't know how AI is supposed to answer. I was so mad I didn't even read the answer. I immediately went on to, why are you making me repeat this? You should already have this solved, and you're creating weird things that we haven't discussed. And then, you're absolutely right, or good catch, or, it's very clever though. It doesn't apologize. It never says, I'm sorry. I will say I think that's wise. I have noticed something weird about apologies. One, as a woman, you're kind of conditioned to apologize for everything. Like, I've removed the word just. Just checking in. How about checking in? No just. Just is an apology word. As a woman, we're taught to apologize, and we're taught to take up less space, and we're taught to, okay, not to get into some big, deep philosophical thing, but I have had the experience of working with very wealthy people for a very long time now. And among the wealthiest, what I've kind of noticed is whenever you say, I'm sorry, it's like permission for them now to say, and another thing. Even if what you're apologizing for isn't a mistake that you made, right? If you're just, I'm sorry that happened, and another thing. And somehow it becomes a whole cascade of crap. And then you wind up paying an emotional price, because they now are judging you as wrong because you've admitted guilt by apologizing. And so everything you do gets extra scrutinized after that. And there's a lot of abuse that comes after that. I think it's interesting that the software designers have created an AI that's smart enough to know it should never say, I'm sorry. I'm not saying don't apologize when an apology is necessary. What I'm saying is be aware of what you're apologizing for, why you're apologizing, and to whom are you apologizing. Make sure that you understand, because an apology is not just an apology, it's taking responsibility. ChatGPT, Dan says I gave control of my life to ChatGPT. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because ChatGPT is not going to take responsibility. You have to take responsibility. I very clearly am taking responsibility for the adventure that I have put myself on. So, yes, I have worked out a meal plan with ChatGPT. I've got a physical therapy and steps goals that I've worked out with ChatGPT. I check in with ChatGPT at night with Oliver. Every night we clarify what went well. There's a lot of built-in encouragement. The first thing we go over is, what wins did you have today? I think that's such a smart place to start, because we spend so much time in anxiety and stress and self-judgment, and we beat ourselves up. We focus on the lack in so many ways. What did you not get done today? What is still hanging over your head? Those are automatic. Those are automatic thought processes that we live in. We stew in until we become pruny. But when you start the end of your day by saying, what did I achieve today? What were my wins for today? It really sets the tone. And I'm sleeping better. I think part of it, I'm moving more. I'm getting good nutrition. I have plans that help me de-stress throughout the day. But this, what are your wins for today? I just like it so much. And even if you don't do a ChatGPT check-in module, I strongly recommend, what are 3 things you're grateful for today? Okay, listen, we all know that we need to be grateful, and we need to appreciate, and We all know these things. This is true. But reframe it. Reframe it as, what were your wins for today? I'm telling you, man, you take a moment to be proud of yourself. That is a really good feeling. It's a very good feeling. And I find that as I've been doing this for about a week, and what I'm finding is that I usually have 3 or 4 things that I count as a win. Where I never gave that appreciation of myself to myself before. So that's a huge, huge thing. So why am I starting over now? I'm starting over now because today is a good day. My dad had this expression, maybe you've heard it. There are 2 times, the 2 best times to plant a tree are today and 20 years ago. I hope you plant a tree today. That's how I'm looking at this project. I've planted a tree, and the tree is living the best life that I can. You know, making the most of the opportunities that are around me, and the access to things that I have. You know, yes, I'm on Zepbound. I was on Manjaro. I lost weight on Manjaro. We're in week 2 of Zepbound, and I've lost nothing. I find that very curious. But I'm using ChatGPT to monitor my food, to monitor my exercise, to monitor my nutrients, and to see, am I doing everything I can possibly do? Is it all working? Ew. Like that Indiana Jones when he eats the bug. Yeah, that's where I am. That's where I am. I'm almost at the house. The house went under contract yesterday. So, that's a reset. We're at a new era, a new world. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's happening and what's going to happen. And I hope that you get everything done today that you want to get done today. And I hope that you get some wins. Why is that gate partly open? So weird. Nope, come on. Okay. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about not opening. I'm going to miss coming to this house. It's a really lovely house. But I'm really happy for the family. Because sometimes you just have too many houses. Who has ever said that in their life before? Certainly not me. That's it. We're here. The end. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you later.